Test. So a couple of quick things before we get into this video. Number one, I'm going to give you a bit of a personal / channel update after this overview. So if you want to hear that, please stick around. Number two, full disclosure, this video is not sponsored by Westwood. However, probably 2-3 months ago, they reached out to me. They said, would you be willing to share our beautiful bike stand with your audience? In return, we'll give you one, and we'll also give you one to give away to a lucky subscriber. So I did a bit of research, went to their website, which I'll link to below, found out they've got a lot of experience in carpentry, 24 years, and they're a local business and they're trying to get their bike stand business off the ground. So I thought, absolutely, I wanted to get behind this. So if you are international though, and you're thinking local business Australia, do they ship to my country? They do ship internationally. And if you're a subscriber wondering how do you go into the draw, I'll tell you about that shortly. And they will ship anywhere. I even said to Westwood, I've got a subscriber in Mongolia. Would you ship to Mongolia? And they said, absolutely. So no stress there. Now, before I tell you about the giveaway, a little bit more information on this Australian-made bike stand, which is made with marine plywood and American oak veneer. It's designed to fit wheel sizes between 23 and 28 millimeters or 100C rims. So the actual concept for this bike stand actually came from a friend of the owners of Westwood. They were at a barbecue and the friend was expressing some frustration. He'd recently built his own custom bike and he wanted to create a nice bike stand that he could put it in his house. He was looking online, couldn't find a nice bike stand, and he was telling the owners of Westwood, and they said, well, we can create something like that for you. So they did. And this gentleman, let's call him John, John came back to Westwood and said, this is a cracking bike stand. You should create a business out of this. So in addition to their sort of carpentry business, their cabinetry making, they now have these beautiful bike stands. Now, to give you a 30-second woodwork lesson, as mentioned, the stand is made out of marine plywood and American oak veneer, and it performs longer in both humid and wet conditions and resists delaminating and fungal attack. And Westwood will even provide a 12-month warranty. Now, I want to talk to you about the pros and the cons of this bike stand that I've experienced over the last, I'd probably say, close to 2 months of owning it. I'll start with the pros. Number one, this is set up in my office here. So when you walk into a room and this is on display, it really is something that lights up the room. It grabs people's attention in a positive manner.
Everybody, if you don't have this bike stand, you need it because it's good quality.
Number two is it kind of provokes you to ride more. So I'll be like typing at my laptop, turn around and have a look at it, and it's like the chapter 2 is calling for me to ride it more. It's like, come on mate, let's go for a ride. And we all know riding our bikes more and doing more exercise is a really good thing. Now the third one is it sort of forces you to keep your bike clean. You wouldn't put your bike up here if it was covered in grit and grime. So yes, my chain probably needs a little bit of work, but overall I found that I keep my bike looking a lot nicer, which is also a really good thing. Now, the two cons that I wanted to talk to you about, which aren't really cons, they're more so considerations, I would say, for you to be aware of. Number one is, one of the challenges we all face with road cycling is there's always something you can buy. We've all got a list. Could be a power meter, could be a bit of lycra, could be an indoor trainer, like the list goes on and on and on. You could have all these things on your list. So where do you put a bike stand like this on your priority list when it's $480 AUD, which isn't overly expensive for something that is finely crafted. However, it depends where you are in your cycling journey and what's going on in your priority list. But if you've ticked most of the items in your priority list, then I would say this is definitely something that you should add to it. Now, number two is I wouldn't say it's heavyweight or I wouldn't say it's lightweight either. It's kind of in between. Now, because you wedge the tire in here and you want it to be stable, you know, so it's not rocking too much. My kids always come in here going, Daddy, look at me, look at this, Daddy. And I'm like, stop doing that. You don't want the bike falling over on your child and you don't want to damage your bike or obviously your child, which is even more important for most people. So in order to get this tyre, which is wedged in here, out, what I tend to do is I put my foot down here just to put a bit of extra weight, and then you can wedge it out. Now I've stuffed up where the valve's going. Bloody chapter 2. Give me a second. So there are the two considerations. Now to go into the draw to win this, number one, you've got to be a subscriber, and number two, you need to leave a comment below. Now you can just write yes, and then you'll go into the draw. If you can, I'd love to hear what bike you've got. What type of bike would you put on this bike stand, and in what room would you put it? I think that'd be pretty cool. Now that doesn't give you double or triple points, but the team at Westwood would actually love to hear that. Then what I'll do is we'll run it for a week. So after a week, so if you get to this video on the 8th day, unfortunately, it's gonna be too late. We'll run it for a week. I'll tally all the names. I'll put them into a drawing system, and I'll do a live draw on my Instagram. This will be in probably, I'd say 8 or 9 days from this video going live. And then the following video on YouTube, I'll also announce the winner there. So that's the Westwood bike stand overview. However, this bike stand will appear in a lot of my videos moving forward because it's a great way for me to present a road bike to you when I'm doing my road bike reviews, which is a good segue into the next part of the video, which is a bit of an update. And the first part I want to talk to you about is my road bike reviews. Now, many of you will know who have been supporting the channel for a period of time that the road bike reviews are a cornerstone of this channel, and I want to continue to do them. However, I have been biased towards doing Specialized in the past because Specialized give me access to their bikes. I have a good relationship with them. And every time I do a review these days, I do get a little bit criticized, which I can understand. And also people say, what about Trek? What about Giant? What about BMC, etc. Now I have reached out to pretty much every single brand that you can possibly think of multiple times, relentlessly at times, and I haven't had much success. So I want to continue to do that, and I want to try and deliver more variety in terms of road bike reviews on this channel moving forward. But the way that you can help me, and I think this will help share, give you an understanding of why I ask people to subscribe to the channel. When a bike brand looks at my details, I go straight to my channel, and the first thing they look at, unfortunately, is how many subscribers has that person got. Now, we're heading towards 20,000 subscribers, which is great on this channel, but really, in comparison to your GCNs and your bike radars and all these other ones out there, it's not significant enough for them to invest their time in giving me a product and walking through a process with me at this point in time. So that's why I get donuts. I understand they have to run their businesses. So how you can help me, 80% of people who watch my videos aren't subscribers. So if you want to see more road bike reviews of a variety, please consider supporting the channel. And that'll go a long way into helping me with more road bike reviews on this channel. So there you go. Asking for subscribers is not a dick swinging contest. It's not how tall you are, how many inches you've got. It's actually a tool that I can use to deliver more information, more insights on this channel. Number two is, speaking of growing the channel and taking to the next level, I've just invested in, wherever I put it, a brand new camera. It's right in front of me. Massive man look. This is the Sony a6400. So this now shoots in 4K, can do 100 frames per second in 1080p. That may not mean a lot to many of you. The image quality is a lot better. Basically, I can just take my footage to the next level. Now, one of the downfalls of this camera is it doesn't have in-body stabilization, which is really important when you're getting good views of bikes and other things. So I bought this gimbal as well. So this basically means that when I'm sharing bikes with you, and bike reviews and talking to people, it's going to be really nice, smooth and stable footage. And as you'll know, my patrons recently helped me. I'll put your names up on the screen. Thank you very much for your support. Fund a GoPro 7. So there's plenty of stuff happening behind the scenes in order to be able to take this channel to the next level, which I'm really excited about, but I'm also kind of frustrated because it means I have to learn a whole new camera, because before I was shooting on a Canon, so I'm used to Canons, now I've got to learn Sonys. I've never used a gimbal before, etc. But I'm also very excited about where we can take the channel. Now, the third thing I want to talk to you about. Hey, Alice, I'm just finishing off filming. Alice? Alice? Alice?
I'm on the phone.
I'm just filming in here. Can you give me 5 minutes? Just no banging for 5 minutes, please. So that's... So that's a great segue into the last point of this video is, g'day mate, the dog's in here now, is Alice. G'day mate, you want to say hello? You're standing on my notes here. Here, give me that. Hey, give me that. Just give me a sec. Out, please. Out. No, out. I'll give you a pat in a sec, all right? Yeah, so the third part is, you know, looking at my views and analytics and engagement. Not a lot of people like the sort of Alice and I doing stuff together, buying a road bike together, trying carbon wheels and our first ride together, sitting down and talking about training zones. So I want to be able to continue to deliver more of those videos to you, but it is kind of difficult to be very consistent with them because we are so busy with our lifestyle. For example, Alice has just recently been away for 2 weeks in Germany. She travels a lot with her work, and you know, it's been hectic here. I've been doing kids pickups and drop-offs and lunches and dinners and going gymnastics and swimming, and both kids got gastro as well within that last 2 week period, which is called the 24-hour flu in the US, just to add further like full-blown Mendoza into life. But you know, things are great. But Alice has come back, and now we've got a whole bunch of things lined up before we go to New Zealand on a family holiday. So it's really hard to do those husband and wife things all the time. However, what I'm thinking is in videos like this, just small segments, I can give you a bit of an update what's going on, which is what I'm going to leave you with. And that is Alice, we recently took her bike into Cycle Zone. She's bought her road bike, but she's going to do triathlons, and we put some time trial bars on her road bike, and now she's getting used to that position. And I'll leave you with that little bit of footage now, and I'll catch you in the next video. No? Had enough? Sport focus.
Huh?
Show me your time trial bars. How does that feel?
I don't know if I'm pro enough to have these.
Well, it's just getting used to them.
I know, but I mean...
So you're 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. You'll get used to it. They drop your
I mean, I'm not the best rider anyway. I don't know how much difference they're going to make.
Massive difference.
Okay.
Another 2 to 3 kilometres an hour if you get your position right.
Yeah.
You want to work on your flexibility so you can get even lower.
Well, I am flexible.